Now, were you impressed with Fab before,
definitely. And this when you had the sport in your name.
Right, it was Fabolous Sport.
Fabolous Sport.
My nickname in my hood was Sport.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So then when they started calling me Fabolous, I just put the Fabolous onto the Sport. And then eventually I dropped the Sport.
Yeah, this is less.
The rest is history.
Too many
much
syllables,
words.
man.
But I dug that because for me, I know the backstory of it, but for me it was a flip-on polo sport. I already like the kid.
Okay.
Right.
He got good taste in clothing. So then, so the day, actually, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, it was the day we mixed Streets is Talking. After we finished that, Thorough was like, yo, why don't you just make it, can we get a beat real quick? So I didn't have a beat, so I just made one.
Right. Because you're the cheat code.
Yeah, I cheated. That's kind of crazy. I think about it. I made my first beat for Fab on Jay-Z's budget.
Don't tell nobody into that.
Don't tell nobody.
So that's why my album happened on September 11th.
So I did that, and then it was a record called Mob Be Easy, which was one of the standout tracks on the album. And then from there, the relationship just progressed. And then from there was Can't Let You Go.
Can't Let You Go.
Can't Let You Go.
Which ended up being way huger than I ever thought it would be. Like I knew it was a good song. I just didn't expect it to shoot up.
That was a great pop record, though.
Yeah.
And once you had all the little girls singing it, it was a rap.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, that was during that era where I think we talked about this when Bleak was here, where Bleak was just turning down everything I was giving him. And he and that was the second one he turned down. And I remember me and Jay was sitting in the room one day at Baseline, and Bleak walked in. He's like, "Yo, so what's hot right now?" He's like, "Oh, whatever record you turned down last week." And then he turns on the TV, and the Can't Let You Go video is premiering. He's like, "See, I told you.
Damn.
I know you had that."
Damn.
And then from there was the monster that became known as Breathe.
Yo, Breathe, B.
Which was
like y'all lost your fucking mind.
But what's so ill about even that track record is those are all three different kind of records that we've done together. You know what I'm saying? Throughout our career, we've just hooked up and made a record, and it hasn't been like we've aimed at any sort of lane or any kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's just that we just went in and made a record and just made great records. So
what are y'all working on right now? What are y'all cooking up right now?
Well, what just came out was
all the beat you stole.
Yeah, stolen beat,
stealing beats.
That's still wild.
Fab, you let that shit go down like that?
I didn't even know that he was getting down like that. I was as shocked as you, man.
But I mean, we got one other record that we toying with the idea of, which I'm not gonna, you'll hear it when you hear it. But I mean, I'm gonna let you talk about what's next.
Yeah, the Sony record came about, I wanted to do a record, it was an urgent record to me because I had just heard the interview with Lil Wayne, just say flat out he don't like New York.
Right.
So I was like, you know that thing where you made it a hot line, I made it a hot song.
Right.
So I wanted to take this line and make it a hot song, but at the same time, just somebody act like they had some ears, and a New York artist who had some ears and heard this man just say he don't like New York, and I have
Now, how did you feel when he said that, man?
I just felt like I didn't feel anyway like it was directed at anybody or directed at me or even, it's his opinion, but at the same time, I felt like nobody really goes public with saying something so
flagrant.
Right. And
New York has been...
New York was, it's like we're at a weak point right now, so it's okay to kind of say that. And I know Lil Wayne has had, some trials and tribulations, with issues with New York City and, the police department and all, and you can feel that internally, but for him to just voice it in a thing and just say he didn't say I don't like the New York judicial system or the New York, but he just said I don't like New York. Right. So it just it was in the air, and I just said
that's violation. That's violation. That's definitely violation.
And somebody had to just break some light on it, and I just chose to make some light on it and make a good song. I don't really have a problem with Lil Wayne at all.
Have you gotten any flack from anybody else though?
Not really. I spoke to even people that I had mentioned in the song, and Puff was having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? And I knew when it first was released, people would look at it as a Lil Wayne diss or title it as that. But then after you listen to the song, it's not a Lil Wayne diss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
you're
just
proclaiming your love for this great city.
Just repping the city. That's it, man. So, everybody, I think took it as that and didn't look at it any other way.
Now, one thing about your career that I also think that you don't get enough credit for is you put on a couple of rappers, man.
Yeah.
You put on a couple of rappers. Like, didn't you introduce Young Jeezy?
Well, I definitely did do a record with Young Jeezy before a lot of people knew who he was.
And that's one of the first times he was actually recognized.
Right. I mean, a lot of people even to this day up here tell me, like, yo, you helped introduce me to, you know, Young Jeezy's music and his style, and, you know, because we listening to it with a guy that we are certified with, you know what I'm saying? So then you hear this new guy with, and you're like, who is this guy? And then you can make your judgment on what you feel about him. So people do tell me that, you know, me hearing him was on the first time was on one of your joints. So.
And you was also in a group with Joe Buttons.
I was never really in a group with him. It was Clue who had, like, you know, was signing a couple guys.
Okay.
And, you know, Clue used to have the mixtapes, of course. So when he brought Joe Buttons in, and, we started doing a few freestyles with Joe Buttons and stuff like that. And that's how I got introduced to him, too. And, you know, from there, Joe Buttons became Joe Buttons.
Joe Buttons.
Right.
He's a special guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I see you've been laying low recently, man.
Yeah.
You've been kind of quiet, man.
Yeah.
You've been quiet on the Twitter.
Yeah.
You've been quiet.
Well, I had to chill on Twitter. I used to be a little reckless on Twitter.
But people loved... Like
I think they loved it because they had never even, it was like, whoa.
I think that's the closest that the public really got a chance to knowing your sense of humor, your sense of irony, and your timing.
And usually I only let people who are around me see that. So Twitter was new to me too. So I was just like, yo, let's just have some fun with it. But certain people didn't always take my jokes the right way. So, you know, I didn't want to keep getting into little dumb altercations or arguments or, you know,
like you can't talk about somebody playing piano, some other man's living room,
and I'm not being malicious.
Is that violation?
I never called him out his name or being malicious. We had jokes about it, but I think that Ray J situation was different because he was just on something, and it changed his whole person. You know,
on that white, right.
It's on that
stuff. Getting into your personal life without violation. How are you and Emily doing?
We great, man. I think me and Emily's situation through the show got tainted from the public view because it was really a one-sided story.
They tried to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, that's
my wife was watching the show. My wife was watching the show and was like, "That Fabolous."
Yeah, he's not the guy we thought he was.
Exactly.
You know? And I think that's what they tried to paint on the show. And it was, I mean, you know, it's entertainment. At the end of the day, I did tell her, you know, if you want to do that show, you have to be mindful of what's going on. And you know, a lot of girls go into those shows not knowing exactly what they're getting into. Some of the scenarios and stuff is sprung on them, so it's like, oh wow, what happened? They have to react, and that's why they do it, because it gets them a real honest reaction because they don't know what's about to happen. So, but you have to still be mindful that you're on TV, you're saying things, and even they cut and edit what you say as well. So you might say a whole paragraph, but if you say one little thing that's juicy enough, let's get that part.
It's all in the edit.
You know, so me and Emily are good. That's what I mean? We're in a great place. We're raising a little boy together.
And how's your son, man? Because I
think,
now, how has fatherhood changed your life?
Fatherhood has changed my life greatly, man. It's made me, you know, really look at things for the future. It's made me, you know, have somebody that I know that genuinely, you know, love me, not besides, you know, the people that I was raised with, but somebody around me, a child that looks you in your eyes and, you know, genuinely loves you. So that changes my feeling about, you know, you in the industry, you don't trust a lot of people, you don't let people in your circle and stuff like that. And then, you know, you can come home and sit down with your son and you know that, you know, this is somebody that if I was Joe Smo or Fabolous, it's still going to look me in the eye the same way. You know what I'm saying?
And you mentioned once that the only way you would be involved in reality if it was like a family, like a strong family themed show. Right. Is that in the works, or?
I mean, I haven't really done it because it's so tricky, man. The reality thing is so tricky. You get in there and it's, you know, they say one thing, but then the show can start spiraling another way. And I just would have to have, you know, the control of it for me to know exactly what's going on. Like, I don't want any sprung on me scenarios and, you know, and little scrappies popping up at my studio, and you know what I'm saying, I can't, and my reactions are a little, I can't fall in bushes and all that. I don't respond well to that. So, you know, what I mean?
We need you back on Twitter, B. Like, we need you actively.
I'm gonna turn
Twitter.
up again.
You gotta turn it up,
man. I fell in love with Instagram because it was a little pictures and simpler, and you know, it's art and you see dope pictures and stuff. But Twitter, like I even seeing people hit me up on Twitter and like, yo, Twitter's not the same. You don't make the trending topics anymore.
And it's not the same without Loso, B.
Yeah, I need to turn up.
Now, is marriage in the future for you, man?
I don't think marriage is in the future for me right now, man. I just really don't. And the thing about marriage is that, you know, I believe in it but don't believe in it. I think sometimes people put that ring in that paper and make it messes up a good thing sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because now it's a different emphasis on your relationship, you know what I'm saying? Because now you can say I'm married, I got this paper, and if I walk away, then this is that and this is this. So you know, I like to just build on relationships, man, and make sure that you're in a happy relationship. And if it leads to that, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people look at certain relationships, celebrity relationships, and say, oh, you know, look at J and B, and you know what I mean? I think that even that relationship, it took time, you know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, Jay's, you know, 40 years old, so he waited to his time when he felt it was right. And he, even when they first got together, it wasn't a public thing. They were denying each other, denying they were a couple when everybody knew they were a couple at first. You know what I'm saying? They just played it like, you know, they weren't public things, all doing all kind of stuff together, and they just made sure their base was strong before they made it public. And I think that's the kind of things you got to do in a relationship.
What's your favorite Fabolous album?
My favorite one, I would think, I'm gonna say Loso's Way, man.
Loso's Way.
My last album, man.
I thought that was an incredible album.
I'm making a very good. I'm dropping an album, I think, in February.
Okay.
Loso's Way 2.
Okay.
And we have some incredible music on there, man. It's taken me so long to do it because I really want the right ingredients, man. I'm really putting together a great album. But I am about to give a mixtape for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna do Soul Tape too. And Soul Tape is a mixtape, a collection of music I do. It's kind of like a vanity project to me because I get to do over like soulful and sample beats, and I get the rap. I still do what I do, but just over a different sound of music. And you know, it built a kind of following, and then, you know, people love that. So I'm gonna do the part 2 for there, let that rock throughout the winter, and then come back with the album in February.
You've been in this game over 10 years. Game has changed. We went from CDs to digital. You got rappers that are great, and you got rappers that are questionable, and the game has changed.
A lot of rappers that are questionable.
What still inspires you, dude?
The challenges, man. Just doing more. Like you said, you know, the people not really giving you your just due.
You don't ever get tired with this shit?
Nah, because really, truthfully, this is something that I love to do when it was just a hobby for me, man. So now, you know, even that it's my career, I'm one of the blessed people that's actually doing something that he loves to do. There's people who go to school to be doctors that end up being garbage men, you know what I'm saying? And they have to do it because they got to make ends meet and put food on the table. So I'm one of the few fortunate people that got to do something that I love to do. You know what I mean? I wouldn't change my life for the world, man. Even the stressing times of, you know, life and of this celebrity or rapper life, you know what I'm saying?
I seen you in France, B.
Yeah.
I seen those videos of you in France,
yeah,
B.
I enjoy
it must
France.
Be nice.
Yeah. That's why you can't complain, man. I can't complain, man. I've been a lot of places that I didn't even know existed. If you would have asked me when I was 15 if I was gonna, you know, see some of these places, all I knew was the 4 square blocks of my projects, man. And, you know, God has blessed me to be able to go over here and even be up here. You know what I'm saying? This is something that, you know, everybody doesn't get to do.
Right. And at 15 years old, man, what did you want to be?
I don't know. I was just hustling in the projects at that time, man. I just wanted to do Jordans. And
were you a good hustler, B?
I was a good hustler because I did what I was supposed to do, and I never had times where some hustlers will mess up their re-up money, so to say. You know what I'm saying?
Never messed up the re-up.
Never. I kept the re-up money where it was at.
Nice.
And you know,
he was a responsible
hustler.
Yes.
Fab, did you hit Central Booker?
I definitely hit Central Booker.
No bologna sandwiches. We use them as pillows. We use bologna.
Never
sandwiches.
ate the bologna sandwiches. I would starve myself the whole lockup trip through Bookings, wherever.
Is that because you don't eat bologna?
No, just you don't eat that
sandwich. I can't eat those sandwiches, man.
Those sandwiches.
I can't eat in that space, man.
Right. You're not an animal.
I went through as Fabolous, and I got me some McDonald's and stuff like that. That was interesting. You know what I mean?
Yo, Fabolous, man. You've been an excellent guest, man.
Appreciate it,
and I'm
man.
looking forward to anything that you do. Like, I fucks with you.
Appreciate it, bro.
The Combat Jack Show fucks with you.
Thank you.
Brooklyn fucks with you, so continue.
Thank you,
because,
Brooklyn.
like I said, man, there's very few cats that when they drop some shit, like I perk up. Was that a pause?
Hey, listen, that is Pause Deputy approved.
Okay.
I mean,
pardon me, internets.
Fab, let me tell you, Fab, true Brooklynite, will make you do a lot of things, move, dance. But I don't know about perk up as a man, right? Fab, I mean, you don't want him to perk up.
I don't know which way perk is, really. I don't know what perks up. So,
wrap that.
You know what I mean?
We fucks with you, and continued success, my dude.
Thank you, sir.
Internet's Fabolous on the Combat Jack Show, www.pncradio.fm.
100
Let's go.